Hey animal enthusiasts and fellow herpetologists, Mr. Woe here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I set up this naturalistic rock background. Let's get into it. So the enclosure I'm going to be using is this old 48 by 18 by 24 inch 90-gallon aquarium. The materials include lots of styrofoam sheets, gaps and cracks expanding foam, 100% silicone, original white drylok, non-toxic acrylic paint of various colors, paintbrushes, carving knife or hot wire foam cutters, gloves, KN95 masks, sand as aggregate, and quikrete quick setting cement. If this is for an aquarium, I'd recommend using the hydraulic water stop cement since it is more formulated for aquatic applications. I first start by measuring the lengths and widths of the foam sheets and mark how much I'll need to cover the surface area. Once measured, I trim the desired amounts and place them in the tank to ensure it will fit and is snug. Once it is confirmed to fit, I silicone the pieces together and waited for it to cure. Once cured, I used a Sharpie to draw a reference for how I want the rocks to look. For larger enclosures, I recommend making the bottom base of the background thicker to support the weight of the cement. I personally try to make some rocks ledge-like to support climbing. I also cut up other pieces of the foam sheets to add layers and silicone them onto the base foam. Once I liked how it looked, I used the expanding foam to fill more space and create a more rock-like shape. After 24 hours of curing, it is important to carve the surface of the foam not only to make it more rock-like, but also so that it is not as smooth. I also recommend using sandpaper to roughen out any hard-to-reach areas. This is because it is difficult for the concrete to grip onto when it is left smooth and will likely slip off after drying. Next, it was time to add the cement. Here you should wear the mask to prevent inhaling particulates and dust. For the first layer, I make a much more watery consistent mix to get into the harder to reach crevices, but also so the concrete can grip onto the base easier. Once dry, it should look like this. Then it was time to do the concrete layer. For this, I mixed the cement with some black aquarium sand and repti sand as the aggregate, to get a relatively wet but clumpy consistency. I used a paintbrush to completely cover the foam and used a putty knife to shape it more rock-like. I also used the putty knife to create cracks between the rocks. Once dried, it should look like this, and it was now time to start the drylok layers. I'm using white and tinting with non-toxic black acrylic paint and a touch of blue to get this nice gray color. I use another paintbrush to completely cover the concrete. After curing, I do a second layer of the same color to ensure it is sealed. I then tinted the drylok to be almost black and painted this on the cracks and fault crannies so that you can see the rock separations, and it looked like this. I also paint the sides of the foam so that it isn't just white. Using a small paintbrush, you can paint the very hard to reach crannies. For variation in color, I mixed this dark brown color and painted it in random spots. This is what it looked like after curing. Lastly, it was time to create highlights. For this, I mix a very light gray with tan and use a small paintbrush to very lightly pick up the paint. The brush should look like this, and you should very lightly paint just the tips of the rocks. This will give you that nice rock-like highlighted appearance. I recommend allowing to cure for around a week to allow all the vapors to leave. If this is for an aquarium, I'd recommend drylok painting all of the foam to prevent it from leaching microplastics. I would also recommend rinsing and letting it soak in water to leach out any residues before being exposed to aquatic animals and plants. Once cured, I finally place it in the tank. You can silicone it down to the glass, however, I personally want to be able to remove it later. This is what it looked like. Although I like it and it can be left like this, I wanted to add just a bit more texture, so I also applied a bit of excavator clay in various spots. This is what it ended up looking like, and I personally like how it turned out. So yeah guys, this was my input on creating a cement rock background. If you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video where I showcase what animal will be living in this. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.